Ready?
Okay, so this is our second monthly get together. And yes, last month we had DK. This month we have Aaron. We are hoping more of you guys join at some point in time. But just chatting previously, and I just want to say this quickly, it was interesting because Aaron was talking about, Christmas this year and how different it was. Right, right. So we're really happy you joined us. And yeah, so hopefully next month we can talk about, your experiences about the month that happened. But oh, and look at that, we have
Hey,
Jill
Jill.
here. Hey,
Hi there.
Hey, good to
hi,
see
nice
you.
to see you.
Yes.
We were just talking what we're going to be discussing today, and Aaron, Jill, uh, we want to just discuss how interesting Christmas was this year for all of us. So
Okay.
Aaron's got a really good story. So Roy, you can introduce yourself. Sorry, I'm taking over, but I just want to make sure that people understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we're going to title this "How We Spent Christmas 2020" because there's four of us here, and I'm sure we'll have four different Christmases. So, oh, hey,
Dean
Dana.
is here too.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good, Roy. How are you?
Good, good. We were just saying that we're going to be talking about how we spent Christmas 2020.
All right. A Christmas to
So,
remember.
yeah, for sure. Oh, look, there's Vanessa.
Oh, this is lovely. So we've got a bunch of people.
Yeah,
This is wonderful. And we'll each tell our stories about how different it was this year.
yeah. Six people, six different stories, I'll guarantee you.
So, Aaron,
Okay.
why don't you start? Because you were telling us this is what sort of catapulted us into this, topic.
Yeah, when I went, like, Christmas this year was a little bit different, like pretty much everyone and stuff. And normally I do pretty much whatever, wherever me and my wife go, we pretty much go together, obviously. And normally we spend Christmas at our mom's house, but then we also go somewhere else normally. But that somewhere else did not happen because not enough people were going to show up. And then normally with my dad's side, we normally go to my dad's house and then someone else's house, and at someone else's house, not enough people were going to show up. So this year, all we did was we went to my wife's mom's house, my mother-in-law's house, and we hung out. And then we went to my dad's house. But what was great about it is it was completely two different sides of like opinions of how people should be. Because when I went to my mother-in-law's house, there was not many people like there normally is. There was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 people, but nobody was wearing any masks. Nobody was doing no so-called social distancing or anything like that. We weren't coughing on each other or anything like that, and people could taste their food. So we figured everything was all good, and we just played games and we were by each other, like really close and stuff. Not really, really close, but closer than the whole 6 feet thing. And we were just playing our games like we normally do and whatnot. And it was a little bit more packed compared to when I went to my dad's house. Normally, everyone is compact into the small living room, but this time my dad scheduled everyone, like me and my wife, to go a certain hour/hour and a half, and then my sister and her husband went a certain time. My sister and her husband and kids went a certain time. Stepbrothers went a certain time, and it was all certain times. And we had our hour and a half to 2 hours there. And when we got there, he told us that we had to wear our masks. So I'm glad that we had our masks in our pocket, and we were distanced apart. Which was very interesting. But whatever, whatever floats their boat. I don't really care. And but yeah, it was just interesting the difference between the two. And when we were there, normally on Christmas, the chairs are like really connected with having so many people. This one, there was like chairs in the far corner of the living room. There was a love seat in like the middle wall of the living room, and then there was two chairs on the corner of the other part of the living room and stuff. So everyone was like kind of spaced out and whatnot. It was just interesting of seeing the differences with the two different families and stuff.
I agree with that. Who else had an interesting experience for Christmas being different than usual?
Well, typically we go to my son's house for Christmas Eve. My wife and I, our two sons and their four kids. And my brother-in-law comes because he's single and usually by himself. So that's typically what we do on Christmas Eve. Well, one of my daughter-in-laws has got an immune deficiency thing, so she's real cautious about anything. So we didn't go because that she's just afraid she's gonna get sick. But we went to my brother-in-law's son's house, and it was me and my wife, my brother-in-law, his ex-wife, his son, and his son's girlfriend, and his son's friend, and no social distancing, no mask. We just got there shaking hands, talking, sitting close to each other, had a great time, and found out that my Barbara's nephew's girlfriend just found out she was pregnant. So that was pretty exciting. So my nephew is a lawyer and his girlfriend is a doctor. Well, she's finishing her second year of residency as a psychiatrist. So we had a really good time. Frank fixed this big prime rib roast and was great. And we stayed there about 6 hours visiting and stuff. So it was different for us than what we usually do, because usually on Christmas Day, we would go to Barbara's sister's house and have Christmas dinner, but we didn't do that. So it was different. And I miss not being with my kids on Christmas Eve, because we've done that every year since they grew up. We've done it for over 20 years. So really miss that.
So Jill, how was your holiday? I'm going to go across the bottom here.
Sure. So we did Christmas Eve. So my husband is Jewish, and his tradition has always been get together and go out for Chinese food. So we've been doing that for 20 years with his friends, and sometimes it would be a group of 12 people to 15 people would be at these dinners. And obviously this year we couldn't go out to a restaurant to do Chinese. So we set it up so that we were going to have a Zoom call so that all of us could be together. But for the past 5 or 6 years, maybe longer, like when you go to a Chinese restaurant and you order a bunch of food, it always takes a while and you're sitting around drinking, not knowing what else to do. So we started this tradition of a sock swap. So everyone swap style, and that would kill the time from the time you ordered to the time the food came. And so we did that virtually this year. So there was a white elephant site online. So we each wrapped socks and put them up online, and then got our Chinese food. Well, we failed because our Chinese restaurant was closed for Christmas Eve. But a lot of people, so we ate together virtually and did the sock swap and spent time together that way for Christmas Eve.
That's really cool. And what about you, Dana?
Well, there we go. 5 years ago, we moved to Mexico. So our Christmas changed drastically 5 years ago. And up till that point, David was a pastor. And so we knew what we'd be doing on Christmas Eve and Christmas, that's like the busy, busy time. And so we're still trying to decide what normal looks like for us living here. We've got 4 kids and they're in 4 different time zones, so they don't ever get together either. But this year, it was just weird because we knew we really couldn't be together. We had a couple kids cancel flights. They were going to be together, but that just fell apart. So we jumped on a Zoom call and we got to all 4 kids. Our son in Japan, he jumped on. It was 5 a.m. for him. And he actually stayed up because he was afraid he wouldn't wake up in time if he went to bed. So he just stayed up. I had said, just binge watch some Christmas movies or something. Keep yourself awake. And he never did really share what he did to stay awake. But we all just spent time like that. And today we're going to get on again. And we're going to play games today. We've always had I don't know, when we all get together, we love to play games. And so we found an app online, and we all get on Zoom, but then we have our, our devices, and we play games, and kid friendly, so our grandkids can play too. But we are so looking forward to probably, hopefully next year, where we can all find some mutual place between Christmas and New Year's, because now our son-in-law is a pastor. So, I mean, he can't leave. He's stuck where he is. And now you don't necessarily all want to go to Pennsylvania, although Pennsylvania is a very nice place. Somewhere warm. If we could bring all the kids somewhere warm, that would be great. If we could bring them all here the week between Christmas and New Year's, that would be great next year.
Perfect. Can I get an invitation too?
Sure.
It's cold up here.
Yes. Well, you see me today in a sweater. It's kind of funny. It's 60 degrees outside, but that's cold to me. So I'm like,
You mentioned playing games. I have a niece. She's crazy. She is so funny. I mean, she make you laugh till you cry. But so they played this game where they take gifts, like some kind of small gift. They would wrap it in saran wrap. Then they add another gift, wrap that, add another one, wrap that, add another one. So the thing's about big. And then they have a pair of dice, and everybody takes turns rolling the dice. And when you roll a double, then you put these oven mitts on, and you try to take that saran wrap off to get that gift. And it's real fast paced because everybody's rolling the dice, and it's my turn. And you put there, and I mean, it was a hoot to see that. I mean, it was hilarious. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in.
yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. Vanessa, how about you?
Actually just stayed home all day. But I lived in California, but I recently essentially just came back to Massachusetts with family. So I was with family essentially
Nice.
during that day, and we just sat around and watched TV. Yes, and I worked on business stuff. And that was it. Yeah.
Well, I was lucky. I got to see my 88-year-old father and 85-year-old mother. And we did wear masks, but as I was saying, my mother is kind of deaf, so it's really hard to talk through the mask. So we'd have to hold it out going, Mom. Very grateful to have them. My dad suffered 3 strokes when he was 83. So 5 years later, he's looking better than he did at 83, believe it or not. And I have to thank my mom for that too. So very grateful for that, my sisters. And it was interesting though, because I saw one sister, her granddaughter, and my parents, and it was so different from the previous years where the house was just packed. But grateful for that, being able to be able to see them. That was really cool. Why don't we introduce each other here? Because you are our podcast guests, and I know that you might have listened to each other, but maybe not. So why don't we start? Erin, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll go Jill, and then Dana, and then Vanessa. How's that?
There we go. I thought I was hitting unmute, but then it started muting again. So I don't know. Anyway, my name is Aaron Kono. I am known as the Wolf of Cash Flow. I help people manage their money and figure out what they need and what they do not need and what they should do with their money. Because a lot of people out there, they buy a lot of crap they don't need, and people need to learn not to buy crap they don't need and need to learn to spend less money than they need to spend less money than they have, because if you spend more money than you have, you're completely in the hole. And I also help people learn to use credit cards the correct way, because most people do not use credit cards the correct way. So I help that, and then whatever else they need help with, I can help them with that as well.
Okay, and you guys, seriously, if you follow Aaron, you'll get to see his TikToks too. They make me smile every morning. He's really funny.
Oh yeah.
That's how we connected, but it was
TikToks.
nice. You have your business behind that. I didn't realize. And I thought, I love your TikToks. He goes, yeah, but I do other things too. I'm sure. So yeah, really do watch them. They're really funny.
So I'm Jill Hunter, and I'm a leadership coach in that I help people leading teams learn how to better connect on a deeper level with each person on the team to make the team overall more productive. When you work for someone and you feel valued and appreciated, then you come to work with 100% of yourself. And I do that by teaching people to lead with empathy. And when you use empathy to connect, that connection feels real. And it really helps people feel like they've got a bigger purpose other than just a paycheck at the end of the week. And that's what I like to do is help teams. It also works with family members and other things, as we use empathy every day and no one even really thinks about it that way.
Thank you. Dana.
That's awesome. That's awesome, you guys. Well, my name's Dana Hagstrom, and my husband and I were usually together, although he's fighting a cold, and so he's snapping. But we are profit breakthrough coaches, and we work with online marketing solopreneurs, helping them break through to positive cash flow and liberating profit. We know from our own experience and our own journey that starting an online business can be a big deal, and you don't necessarily know who to listen to, what to buy when, what to be doing when. And so we've put together what we call Your Pathway to Profit, and that helps people walk through with certainty what they should be working on when to build their business towards profitability faster without spinning their wheels, getting stuck in the mud, or any of those things that we all have been all has happened to us as we're building our businesses. So we love to empower people to find those gold mines inside, because we all have them, and find a way to monetize them to help the greater good.
That's fantastic. I'm sorry, I have to say this is kind of cute. You said that David's not here because he has a cold, and I'm saying he's helping us stay away from COVID, but we're on Zoom.
I know, he's social distancing.
Right? Tell him that we hope he gets better soon.
Yeah, me too.
And Vanessa.
Yes, hello everyone. So what I do is I coach, consult, and advise 9-to-5ers on how to build their profit-producing, purpose-driven business, even demanding day job. So yeah, that's what I do. I have a community Facebook group in which I host boot camps, workshops, daily tips for people. But then I also have my main program that I have, the Business Accelerator for people, 6-month one-on-one, and also group coaching that I provide. So yeah, that's me.
Great.
Yeah, Vanessa's very, you're all very active on Facebook, but Vanessa, like, you know, you're very active on Facebook.
Yes, my main marketing platform.
But lovely, and really I've listened, and all of you. I mean, Dana, I've known, oh my goodness, I think it was like, 3 or 4 years ago when I first saw you and David on. It's just lovely, and thank you all for being on our podcast. And sorry, I'm sitting there over talking Roy. Oh, shut up for a minute.
Well, I don't know about Jill, but I guess all the rest of you guys are up where it snows. So Dana and I are in the 60-degree weather. Ha ha.
You're so mean, Roy. I can't. Joke.
I'm also in Massachusetts, so yeah, we had a foot of snow last week, and then the driving rain on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
The snow is gone, and I'm shocked that I thought it was here for the winter, and it's gone except for a few little spots in the backyard on the north side of the house.
I was really bad. I had to shovel Christmas morning, and there was somebody walked by, and I said, "Who asked for a white Christmas?" And he looked at me. I said, "I'm kidding."
I'll say this: New England in the fall is freaking beautiful. I mean, we went up there one year. Oh my gosh, that was one of the best vacations we ever had. And my wife likes to read historical romance novels. And so she said, "We're gonna have to go to Salem." I'm going, "Oh, are you really kidding me?" God, so we go up there, and we spent the whole day. I mean, I loved it. There's so much history there. The House of Seven Gables and the Underground Railroad, and just like I said, we stayed there the whole day. And I really couldn't believe we did it. So I'd love to go back. We didn't see Rhode Island, and we didn't see Boston because it was a convention. We couldn't get a hotel, and we didn't see Connecticut. So we're planning on going back sometime to see those. But in the fall, that place is absolutely beautiful. Because in Texas we have brown and green. That's it.
My sister lives in Salem, and so it's you can come back in October and experience the whole Halloween thing. It's kind of like a month long in
Yeah.
Salem. Hmm.
Well, it's funny. We were in New Hampshire. We were going to Portland, Maine. So we stopped at this store, and it's anyway. It's just kind of like when I was a kid. The store. Anyway, so I was getting gas. I told Barbara, I said, go in and get something to drink. So I filled the car up with gas. I go inside and I walk in the door, and there's this meat counter. It was just like it was when I was a kid. They give me a pound of bologna. Do you want it sliced? How thick? Whatever. The white butcher paper. And I mean, I was just like, it was like being 5 years old again. I mean, I was just amazed. I was standing there, and she's looking at me like, "What? What are you doing? Come here? What do you want?" I said, "Just give me a Dr. Pepper." So I noticed we were talking back and forth. The people, still about 4 or 5 people in the store, and they were all just standing there going like this every time we say something. So we go up to check out. So the guy says, "So where are you folks from?" "Oh, Dallas, Texas." He goes, "Oh, I knew you're from down there somewhere." And so he goes, "So what are you doing up here?" He said, "Did you come see the leaves change?" "Yeah, pretty much." He goes, "That's okay, folks. They're just leaf peepers from down south."
Okay, I do
That's
have to
funny.
say, one of the places I loved living, that I was there for 3 years, was Reno. And people say, "Reno, did you gamble a lot?" I'm going, absolutely not. We lived on the outside, but on one side you have Virginia City, like the cowboys and the wild horses. And the other side you've got Tahoe, where you can go skiing pretty well almost all year. Just the perfect spot. And if you're above where they have the reverse pollution, so you could but if you were above it, that's where most of the people people wouldn't think about it, but it was so close to San Francisco, to Truckee, and just beautiful. And the winters were not that long, and the summers you could dodge the raindrops. But it did have green though, Roy. We did have green.
Yeah. Well, you have green and brown in Texas. That's it, period. The water is either green or brown. The leaves are green or brown. That's it. Yeah.
So quick question to all of you. What do you see as 2021? What's your first goal or first thing that you tell people or send out a message? What do you feel 2021 is going to be like, if you can even perceive it? Let's start with Aaron again. I'm just going by my screen.
Well, this might sound a little like very brief, but I look at 2021, however 2021 will be, because nobody knows. Nobody has any clue what the future is going to be like. Too many people out there are like, "Oh, I know it's going to be better by summer. It's going to be better by spring. Oh, this will be different. This will be different." You don't know. Nobody has any clue, So the way I look at it is I just live in the present. I live in what's happening now. I don't waste my time of watching the news and stuff. If I hear something crazy from someone, I'll hear something crazy from someone, but that's their personal opinion, So, like whatever happens, and then we'll go with the flow. I just hope a lot of businesses don't go out of business. I know a lot of businesses had to adapt to the change and stuff. So, but yeah, whatever happens. That's how it rolls, and pretty much live with it. That's what you got to do.
I agree with what Aaron said, but I do want to say that in 2021, I think having 2 vaccines that are approved here in the US are providing hope for people. So I'm hoping that's really going to help with some of the mental illness in 2021. At least it really is hope. and we're not just waiting for a vaccine to be developed. It's here, and maybe things will start to change. It might be another year where we watch a lot of businesses struggle, more surges, more things happening that we don't expect. But I think that with the beacon of hope that at some point we're going to get ahead of this, and it may not be for 5 years. Who knows how long it's going to take? But at least we know that we're heading in the right direction, and I think that's important for people to see. So I'm hoping it's a better year that way, and that we're more realistic in our expectations.
Yeah, I agree with the hope thing. We all need that hope, whether our business is thriving or otherwise. And if we in a community can be that light, if we can shine our light to give people hope, that's kind of what David and I are looking at, trying to just, be resilient so that other people can, sense that, come alongside us, and we'll help them along. It because nobody's promised tomorrow, and I know today it was interesting at church. We had this image of being in a torrent, like in a river, standing in the middle of a river as it's just going past you. I don't know if you guys feel like this when we had a guest pastor today, but he was talking about how he feels like he's in this torrent and everything is going by so quickly, and there's fear and there's all of this, and just to grab up and hold on to your higher power. For me, that's God. I don't know how everybody believes, but whatever happens this coming year, none of us know, because none of us knew what, we all had our idea of what 2020 was going to look like, right? And that all got blown away. But so I don't know that we can really plan 2021 other than to show up and be our best self, and to cling on to something that we know will last and that will hold us through it all. And that's, I don't know, for me, my faith right now is stronger than it's ever been. And I don't know what I would do without it. So.
Vanessa, you're up.
Yes, so I appreciate what everyone has said. I would say in terms of specific for like me and my business, what I expect for 2020, I'm gonna just keep doing what I've been doing, or 2021, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing in 2020, pretty much is how I'm handling 2021. And but it's like a month by month basis of like what worked, what didn't work, etc. In terms of quarterly annual planning. In terms of personal life, I'm like, hey, let me just try to get a property now. Why not? Let's see what happens. And so we'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen in 2021. I'm just like, I'm going to keep doing me, keep doing my goals. I have faith and strength in my ability to change and pivot and problem solve. Really have faith in my problem solving ability. That's my zone of genius. So let it come my way. I'll figure it out. So that's the way I just live life. So yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That's perfect. And, we have to sit here, and we always said, hindsight is 2020. Well, it is as of, January 1st, it's going to be hindsight. We don't know what foresight is. We never really do. I really, though, do appreciate, and Roy, sorry, but I do have to say this, really appreciate the four of you being here, but to all of the people who have been on our podcast, it's kept me sane. There's been things that you do need to hold on to. Yes, my faith, but there's, like my mother said, she goes, she's macrameing and she's sewing masks and she's doing things to keep that sanity of that isolation. And this has been just wonderful. So I really want to thank you all for this and being here. I really enjoy it. It gets me up in the morning going, yay, another podcast. So, really thank you. And Roy, sorry, you go ahead now.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I think from now going forward to probably at minimum through January, with all the unrest going on, I think we're going to have some hard times the next few weeks. That being said, as Dana and Jill said, I do have hope. But mine's kind of like hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So, but we're going through a lot of turmoil here, and hopefully it's going to gets settled and things are gonna start going back to normal. You know, is it gonna be March or February? I have no idea. But if this election stuff gets resolved and we can start moving forward, you know, that's my hope. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, I'm in Canada, so I don't really, you know, we watch it and we know that things are going on. And my dad is, you know, he's always got the Trump station on. I told him, is there still a Trump station? He goes, yes, there still is Trump station. That's what he's got on. But, you know, I do have to be grateful, though, for our Canadian government. There's a lot of things to be said about it, but they've been very forthcoming in, you know, supporting people, even with mental health. They've given anyone who's suffering from mental health a 12-week program covered by the government to get through it. And I think that's really important because there are a lot of people who are suffering mental health and they won't even talk about it. I know I suffered from anxiety, so this has been helping me. I did 8 years ago, it went away and then it came back this year. So it's just, you know, one of those things. The program that they recommended for me, thank you, Vanessa, is the cognitive behavioral therapy is one of the top ones that they're recognizing that helps for people with anxiety. Would I say it's severe? Some days yes, some days not. But when you wake up in the morning, you don't know what's going on and you can't even recognize why you're anxious. That's the worst part of it, because you can't even pinpoint. At least if you pinpoint, you can work on it. So it's helping. Not easy to go through either, but I think that that's been very helpful. And to anyone, though, if you are suffering from anxiety, because I know some people just don't want to admit to it because it seems to show some sort of weakness, don't be afraid, reach out. I know that we've got beautiful coaches and people here who can help, whether it's financial, whether it's, you know, educational, whatever.
Spiritual.
You know, the people are there for you to reach out to. So, yep, that's my spiel. Well, anybody else have anything to say? This has just been wonderful. I'm so excited to see you all here.
Yes. Yep. It was, yeah, we really do appreciate all you guys coming on and getting to meet each other, you know, and just catch up from the last time we had podcasted with you.
Yeah, and now that you've seen who you are, please go on to the you know, the podcast and listen to each other's podcast and what you have to say. I think that that's going to be, it's helpful, and you'll get to know each other more than just what we've just said here, because there's so much more behind all of your stories, which is what we love the most. We hear so much about not just what you do as a business, but who you are as a person. So thank you.
Please go into the group.
And thank you for your time.
Yeah, go into the group and comment.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you for hosting us. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yes, thanks
thank
for
you.
having us today.
It's good to see everybody and catch up. Happy New
Absolutely.
Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, definitely. Happy New Year.
Take care.
Okay.
Okay.